first problem. But now we are live.
Except it's not showing on YouTube.
Maybe it's okay. Why don't you just say hi to people? And
hey everybody!
Then,
I know no one's here hearing me right now, so I'm just talking out loud. So anyway, we're just got a little technical difficulty. Great way to start the day. Yay! So we're waiting to get Joseph Perez up here, and with Neo Builders, and we shall be getting started shortly.
So you just tell them what's going to be happening today. Who's on the line up?
Today we have we're starting off with Neo Builders, a accessory dwelling unit company out of the Los Angeles, California area. They're going to be doing a tour of one of their accessory dwelling units, ADUs. They've built a number of these out in the LA area, and now with the changes in statutes and zoning out there, accessory dwelling units, foundation-based tinies, and tiny houses on wheels are being recognized as viable housing solutions. So it's pretty exciting, and that's a good thing for companies such as Neo Builders. So that's pretty neat. Felice Cohen from yesterday is coming back later on today. She's going to be talking from on downsizing and organizing in small spaces. If there's anybody who's ever done that and can be an expert on that, it is her. We also have Mike, companies such as Neo Builders, with Navigation Nowhere. Felice Cohen from yesterday is going to be talking. Navigation Nowhere is going to be talking, and he's going to be giving a tour. I'm not sure, is he giving a tour of Navigation Nowhere? Or is he giving a tour of something else, or the new conversion? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see, what else do we have going on? We have the chef, the Van Life chef. He's going to be doing a cooking class. I think he calls it a single pan recipe, where he's going to be cooking a tenderloin and cooking that, and then showing how to turn it into 2 meals inside of his van-based kitchen. So that's pretty. We have the Beehive family, a family of 6 who live in a schoolie conversion. John and Bissonette, who's retired Marine Special Forces, really cool guy. His wife, Sean Lynn, and their 4 children, Chloe, Alexis, Jacob, and Matthew. And so they're going to be talking about being a family of 6 and living tiny. Pretty cool. And let me see, who else? I'm trying to shoot things off the top of my head. Let me take a look here. So, all
right, okay, I think we got Joseph right here finally.
We should be able to bring in Joseph here real quick.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hi. All right, Joseph, I can see you.
Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
Oh, no, that's not. Yeah, this is Joseph.
And you want to bring your camera down a little bit so we can see you, please?
Okay, you know what that is.
Hey, guys. Hey.
There we go. Great. Fantastic. How you doing, man?
How are you? Finally, sorry for the connection.
Amazing.
Oh, you're gone.
No, wait.
What happened?
No. Let's see what's going on here. Hold on.
That's a delay on the thingy. Joseph, you might have to log out and then log back on again.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can't see you.
Well.
Yeah. Because
okay.
That's the delay, so that's why. All right, so Joseph will be right back. Okay, let's talk about Joseph.
So Joseph is he is with, or is Neo Builders Tiny Home ADUs, and he's going to be doing a tour of one of their accessory dwelling
There we
units.
go. Now he is back.
And now he's back again.
Say something, so
Okay.
Perfect.
There we go.
right.
Fantastic. All right. And,
Hi guys, are we ready for me?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
we sure are. So
you
why
are
don't,
live
why
right
don't you
now.
run with it? We're going to put ourselves on mute, and you can do your thing.
Okay, so perfect, guys. Thank you so much, John and Finn. Thank you, United Tiny Homes. We are Neo Builders. We are super excited about building tiny homes and ADUs in general. I'm on my computer, so it's a little hard, but here it was one time a garage, and now it is an ADU. ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, so everyone in California and a lot of places in the US can now, turn extra space into dwelling units. So here you see it's a privacy gate. So of course, every dwelling unit needs a privacy gate. And then there you see another privacy gate for the main house. Here you have your AC and you have your tankless water heater. So that goes outside always. Here our client picked a turquoise door, kind of the Mediterranean style. Big doors, big entrance, 36 inches for exterior doors. Right away when you walk in, you are greeted with the main area, the main living space. And right now we are a construction company, everyone. So this place is a little bit under construction, but it's fully it's beautiful. So right away you walk in, you have your main area of living. Here we envision a living room, dining room, TV area, all in one. Remember, multi-uses, tiny spaces. It's very nice. Lighting. Big window to the outdoor space, facing west, so we do have good sunlight. And then right back here is the kitchen. Okay, so smaller kitchen, but really, really beautiful. Everything is well done. Shaker cabinets. Countertops, 24-inch sink. Smaller hood. Backsplash. So smaller kitchen, but still very functional. Again, we envision 2 people living in here, so the kitchen is very user-friendly. Here we have the washer dryer and the fridge. Okay, so then we are doing, even though it is a small space, and I'll talk about how big the place is, it's only 380 square feet. We do want 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So, we've spoken to many tiny home architects, and our architects, they just say split it down the middle and make a privacy wall. So this is our privacy wall. That's our privacy wall. So on one side, we have fun, we have kitchen, we have TV, we have friends and family. And then the other side is more private, which is bathroom and bedroom. So you walk in here. Then we do have our vanity outside. Sorry guys about all this. We do have our vanity outside of the bathroom. And this is again multi-use. If someone wants to use this to get prep in the morning, but someone also wants to use the restroom, they can. Our shower is very luxurious. It's a little dirty right now, but remember guys, construction. It's very luxurious. Shower, shampoo niche, frameless shower glass. Frameless shower glass. Frameless shower glass. So guys, even though it's a tiny space, everything is super luxurious, everything is super brand new, everything is top of the line. And our toilet, so there's plenty of space for the toilet. Our are bigger in some places. Again, we have a small space here, so we have to do a lot of multi-uses. And then again, then we walk into the private space, into the 1 bedroom. This is our 1 bedroom currently. Of course, the bed is not assembled, but we easily see we can have a queen size bed in this space. Huge window to the outdoor area. Super nice, super small, trying to do multi-uses everywhere. Here's our closet, so big storage spaces. And then the last thing that I want to show you is, how am I going to show you guys this? So this garage was only 310 square feet. When we got here, it was just a garage with a huge garage door. We added the windows. But that's pretty small. And I know this is tiny homes, but that is pretty small. So we did add 60 square feet. So this is the addition of the garage. So we did make an addition. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry guys, I'm on my computer. But yeah, so we did make an addition here. You can see the header. So yeah, we turned it in from 310, 315 to about 380. So it's very substantial. It makes it a lot bigger for tiny homes. Yeah. So thank you, John. Thank you, Finn. Thank you for the whole community. Neo Builders focuses on ADUs, which is accessory dwelling units. You know, every house, the demand of houses. Hey guys.
Hey,
Did you see me okay? Because the computer and I can't flip it. I don't know.
you are
Good.
good. We see you good.
Yeah, we
Love
see
the
you fine.
hat.
Thank you. It gets hot in LA. I'll talk about ADUs because you guys have no ADUs in your tiny homes. It's a lot of buses and it's a lot of and it's a lot of garage convert. ADUs, I think, are super special for the average consumer that lives in a big house but wants to upgrade to tiny. The whole upgrade to tiny thing is super special. Most people in LA live between 2,500 square feet and 2,500 square feet. Maybe they have a garage or maybe they have a lot of land in the back. So California laws, LA laws allow for a second unit. Second units are obviously much smaller. The biggest size could be 1,200, but we see a lot of people building 400 square feet. 400 square feet is our main thing. What are we doing with 400 square feet? We can either do a studio or we can do a 1-bedroom. I like to do 1-bedrooms, you know, but I love the tiny home space. So I want to learn more from the tiny home space. I want to make more multi-uses. How do I do more uses for tiny homes? Sustainability also comes into play. Again, we have a lot of California codes, and California is notorious for having a lot of building codes. So we can't be putting an oven on top of a microwave on top of the sink. Everything has to have standard codes. So we have to make sure that the kitchen is up to code. But again, everything is 24 inches. Everything is smaller sinks, smaller washer dryers, smaller fridges. We want to move to this more sustainable home, to this more, even though it is luxurious, but it is sustainable. It is saving room. It is good for the average consumer. The average consumer with you know, a couple and a dog and maybe one child doesn't have to live in 2,500 square feet. So upgrading to tiny is the real thing.
So if I can ask you, Joseph, are you finding I mean, you're not new at this. You've done like a dozen of these garage conversions and ADUs around the LA area over the past like 3 years, right?
Yeah, so the one big law was in 2017, and that's when we personally did our ADU. My brother did an ADU, my dad did an ADU. I currently live in an ADU. So we fell in love with tiny homes back in 2017, 2018. Right. And now with the new law, there's a new law in 2020 that it makes it it's a lot more esteemed. Like the city, the county, everyone is with it. So it's much easier. Building codes are easier to pull permits.
Nice.
It's easier you don't have to fight for a tiny home for an ADU anymore. It's more streamlined. The city wants you to build it. Nice.
And of the ones that you've done, the ones that you and Neo Builders Tiny Home ADU has constructed, have you found that those are being built by homeowners who are wanting an additional income property, or are they building those for family to expand their own personal living space, or is it a combination of both?
It's a good question. I think it's a combination of both. Of course, I have investors coming to me and saying, hey, I have 10 homes. I want to build 10 ADUs, I want to double my profits on the homes. And
Right.
that's really good because that creates affordable housing in places where there is no housing. LA
Gotcha.
is notorious for no housing and a huge homeless population. So again, everything you see here, it's brand new. It's key ready. It's only going to be 1,700, 1,800, maybe 2,000, depending on the finishes. So it is accessible for the normal consumer.
Right.
But then to answer your question, the other half, it doesn't care about rent. They have a smaller house. Either they want to move into the ADU or they want their son or daughter that are just finishing college. They can't live anywhere. They give their son or their daughter an extra space, still close enough to home. We see a lot of elderlies, so very wealthy, middle class, in their 40s and in their 50s. Their parents are a little bit older. Hey, don't move into an old age home that costs a ton. We'll build you an ADU. Come live next to us. So I always tell a story about a Hispanic family. They are renting their garage. They built a 400 square feet. They are renting their garage to an elderly Hispanic lady, and she pays cheaper rent than she would in an old age home, which is super nice for her. And then the family gets an abuela that cooks, that helps. I don't think she cleans, but she cooks. She does babysitting. The family's Spanish. The grandkids are Spanish, so they have fun together. And it's a very family. It's a very multi-use. The grandmother gets to use the space. I don't think she goes swimming in the pool, but she gets to hang out with the grandchildren. The grandchildren, it's not her grandmother, but they still feel like a family. They still eat together. It's something really special. And then the family makes rent.
Nice. We got a question here from Jason. I don't know if you can answer this, but how much profit percent can be expected on a unit if somebody is renting it out? To me, I don't know if that's an easy question.
It's every project is different, and the thing is every location is different. So again, to just normalize everything, let's say we have a garage that's 400 square feet. The house is worth anywhere between $800 and $1 million. Maybe you'll put in $100,000 with permits, with building costs, with finishes, with furnishing it. Again, you have two options. You can go the Airbnb route, which we've seen in Culver City go up to $150 a night. And then we've seen, a very not super nice locations go for $50 and $60. But look, let's say you rent it out for the normal $1,800 and it costs you $100,000. I mean, you're paying it in 5 years. So it's much cheaper than buying a house, and it's much cheaper than it's the safest, it's the best investment for single family homeowners, at least of what I know in Los Angeles, in Portland, in Seattle, things of that sort.
Gotcha. And let me see here. I thought there was another question. No, I don't see a question specific for you. So
I'll talk about sustainability. Do I have a second to talk about sustainability?
Sure.
Yep. Go right ahead. Yeah, we have time.
The big thing is again, we talk about tiny homes and we talk about saving the world and adding new housing. The sustainability part is super important. We don't want to just be the builders that, build new homes. We want to, make zero emissions and help with solar. And thank God we live in California that's mandating this. But I do envision in the next 2 years us building ADUs, small spaces that have so much solar and don't take too much energy that they're actually feeding the main grid and feeding the main house energy. So this house, this small space has zero emissions, and they're actually making energy for the bigger houses. So I think it's a good idea how California is moving forward with it. I think the numbers make sense on all parts. It's privatizing housing. It's helping the homeowners. It's helping everyone. So ADUs, I think, is the future. maybe not the future of tiny homes, because tiny homes are very small, but at least the future of rent, of new homes, smaller homes, of people being conscious of where they live.
Gotcha.
So how do people get in touch with you if they, want to have the ADU?
Our Instagram is right here. It's NeoADU. I answer every single person that sends me a message on Instagram.
Yes, you do.
Every single.
Yeah, you sure do. And you're quick on
My
it, too.
website. Thank you. My website. You can send me a message on my website. I'm very available. My cell phone number is posted everywhere online. I give information for free. A lot of people are charging for information. I love the idea of ADUs, so please call me. I'll consult. I'll do a half an hour consult when I'm in traffic. Just call me.
Nice.
All right. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys.
We really
being with
appreciate
us
it. That was really super awesome. And thanks for even sharing beyond the ADUs on sustainability and investment
Yes.
information.
And
It's like
again, they are in Los Angeles.
dinner and a show.
Yes,
That was
dinner and
awesome.
a show.
Yeah.
So people just, go and visit their Instagram, neo_ADU, and have a chat with Joseph.
Thanks a lot, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
Y'all take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So our first one.
All right.
Just one.
So now coming up real quick here is going to be Sarah Wallace. Let's see if
And
you can
Casey.
pop her up. And Sarah and Casey.
Oh, I can see that ceiling. That's a good sign. Even though I can't see the Instagram.
Do we look okay?
I can see and Casey.
use it.
And have a chat with Joseph.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
I can hear you.
No, that's us.
Getting on the inside.
Oh, this is awesome. I love live.
This is awesome. Hi guys, we are here. How you guys doing?
Sarah and Casey.
You might have to turn down your devices because I can see it. I can hear the thingy. Hi guys, how are you this morning? Casey?
Hey guys, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Thank you.
How y'all doing?
I can hear you.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
You can hear us? We can hear you.
Okay, do you know what? Then we're gonna jump onto the tour. Yeah, let's go to the tour that they did earlier today. So we can just bear with us 1 second. Oh. All right, we are here. All right, guys, are you back?
Is he at Neo Builders?
Yes, he is, and we are live. You don't have to whisper, you can just ask me normal so people can hear too. Hey, can you hear us? Yes, I can hear you. Perfect.
Great.
How you guys doing today?
Great. How about you guys?
We are good. So just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your tiny home. It's pretty.
Yeah, so we decided to go tiny about a year ago. We had a 2,000 square foot home on 6 acres and we worked all the time. So we just wanted a simpler life and more time to be together. And so that's kind of our why behind it all.
So who, I mean, is that like both of you decided to go or just one of you came up with the idea and then tried to convince the other?
Actually, when we first started each other, it was just had in common, and we didn't even know that both of us wanted to live tiny, but both of us did, and then that even brought us closer together. And the more we, worked, we decided that we weren't enjoying life stuff. So that's when we were like, you know what, let's just sell it and see where it goes. And we did. We sold within a month, house sold within a month, and we got a tiny house the same month. So.
And I mean, are you glad you did?
Absolutely.
No, what do you think? They're gonna go, no, we hate it. No, it's awful. No.
All right, guys. So let's jump on the video tour and check out their houses.
Hi, United Tiny House. We are excited to share our 260 square foot tiny home. It is on a 26.5 foot long custom triple axle trailer from Texas Trailers. This house was built using Volstruck steel frame and closed cell spray insulation, both of which were really important to us because we wanted to be able to tow this house with a 3/4 ton truck. And so those things were important in keeping down the weight of our tiny home. So let's go ahead and check out the inside. One thing we really love about this house is this sliding screen door. It's a way for us to expand our space into the outdoors without letting the bugs in. So that's great. As you come in, we do have some shoe storage immediately to our right here. And then we walk right into our living room area. This was big for us. As you know, in tiny house layouts, there's always things that you have to compromise on to fit it all into such a small space. But when I saw this tiny house and it had a dedicated living room area that was so functional, it was just a big win for us. So across from our couch here is our stone accent wall. And we do have this bioethanol fireplace, which is really cozy on those warm, on those cold winter mornings. So yeah, that's very nice. We do have some additional storage in this ottoman here. There is a cabinet above the couch. And one thing that my husband just had to have was a safe. We found this one on Amazon and it's really great because it just, as you see, fits right under the couch and slides out. So plenty of room in there for our needs. Next, we'll go up to our first loft above the living area. This is our office space and our walk-in closet. The ceiling is a little bit shorter here, but for our needs, for the time that we spend here, we're either in the chair or just kind of quickly picking out our clothes. So the most important thing is we have plenty of room for all of our things. So good space here. Coming back down into our kitchen area. Until about 2 weeks ago, we had just a mini fridge that was counter height. Kind of a retro style mini fridge, but we decided that we couldn't live a day longer without having dedicated freezer space. So we upgraded then. We do have a much better vision for this built-in little cabinet for our refrigerator, but we're definitely under construction here. So we'll come along to our kitchen. We do have storage, plenty of storage underneath of the counter here. Pretty minimalist design with the curtains. It is kind of fun though because we can change these out and kind of switch up our style if we want to. And underneath we have our microwave, utensils, Tupperware, those items. And same thing under the sink here. You know, we just use this for our trash and cleaning items. And this is our Dometic stove and oven. It's really nice because it's very clean when it's down and actually adds for more counter space. But when you open it, it's our 3-burner gas stove. We have our oven here, which is just enough space for us. across from the stove. So these are the stairs that'll take us up to our bedroom loft, and underneath that space is our pantry. So we have a couple drawers here that slide out, and under here as well, just for those pantry items. And underneath of this, we're able to fit our little vacuum cleaners, you know, just little odds and ends. So across from the kitchen area, we have our dining area, just a small table that will fold up and, you know, make for a larger dining space if need be. And our bench seat opens up for additional storage. So plenty of room for sitting and sharing meals together, which is big for us. So we'll come up our stairs here. And you may have noticed our large picture window, which is great. It lets in so much natural light. We do have this nifty blind for privacy when we want it. And we can even lower it down this way, still keep our privacy, but let in that natural light. So we're down. We're all the way up. Okay, so we'll keep heading upstairs. This is our bedroom loft. Just big enough for our queen size bed. We do have our Pioneer mini split unit up here. And yeah, not much else. So the next is our biggest accomplishment. About 2 months into moving into this tiny house, we found out that we had a leak, and the only way to fix it was to destroy our whole bathroom and start again. In hindsight, everything worked out though, because we got to put our personal touch in with our design and kind of just do things the way that we wanted to. So it was fun. So we'll come on in. First stop is our LG 2-in-1 washer and dryer. This unit is 120 volts. It does take a little bit longer to do a load of laundry, but we're very happy because some reviews for other 2-in-1 units, people were having issues with their clothes being wet or damp at the end of the cycle, and we're fortunate that we have not experienced that. So a little bit of storage above that, and this is my pride and joy. My husband heard my cries for a full-length mirror, and he actually got creative and put this mirror on slides for me, and that way I can pull it out and make sure things match correctly and very quickly put it away. So when we bought the tiny house, it had teak wood in it. We were sad that we weren't able to go back with that, but we put porcelain ceramic with the wood look back in it. We love the chevron pattern on the back wall. Then just our mirror, sink, vanity. Underneath though is our Precision Temp tankless hot water heater. It's been a little problematic. We've had to get a couple of replacement parts, but it is great that we are able to take very long, very hot showers. We appreciate that. And our separate composting toilet. That was I was scared that was going to be a much bigger adjustment than it was, but we've had a very easy time, very no hassle. So great design there. And that's pretty much our tiny house. We'll just take a quick walk through again. on our floors.
Full house that you have.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome.
I
So-
love the big giant windows, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you saw the window, we're like, that window, gosh. Finn really loves windows. When we built the tiny firehouse, the joke on the build site was that she had to leave some structure to hold the thing together.
Right.
So, yeah.
When we traveling down the road, I was actually really worried about it breaking out, but it held up well. We didn't tape it or nothing. It's just
Right.
glass, but it rode good. Our first 7 hours, and it did fine.
Nice. Got a couple of questions here for you. Betsy Barber, she wanted to know about the blind, which I love, the fact that it opens and closes from top and bottom.
Yeah.
She wanted to know like what the brand is, where you got it.
Yeah.
When we bought the tiny house, and it was already in here.
Okay.
From what I understand, you can order them from like RV dealers, because a lot of the RVs have those in their windows, the up
Okay.
and down.
Very,
And they're
very
all custom. You get them custom to the window. So
okay. All right. And then that leads kind of segues into my question. So this was a builder house that you bought that was built. Was it built for you, or was this a model home, something that they built that you all bought, that you all saw and you liked?
all right, so we went to tinihouselistings.com when we were looking for a tiny house, because we were going to get one built. And what was it, Timbercraft, I think, Tiny Homes? They had like
Right.
a year and a half waiting list, and we didn't really have a year and a half. And
Right.
this house had about 95% of everything that we wanted.
Right.
We just wanted to change a couple of things. So it was actually built by a couple the same age as us, but they wanted to move to Italy. So they were quick to sell at a good price, and we were quick to pick it up, and it wasn't too far away.
So it was
Gotcha.
only for about 9 months after we bought it.
Okay. All right. And then you, your personal touches where you said you remodeled the bathroom, and any other major changes you did to the house for your own taste?
No, not really. Mostly just the bathroom is all we've gotten into so far. But we've only been here 9 months or so.
Gotcha. And where exactly is here? Are you on your own land, or are you
It's
renting a
beautiful
place?
land.
Because
I
it's
can hear birds.
beautiful. It's
Just
beautiful.
like chip-
Yeah, we I think this is sitting on about 50 acres of some family land. And we just ran some power and some water and some internet out here.
Nice.
Right now we're looking for we were going to travel around, but now I think we're ready to settle down. I might just buy a piece of like waterfront property somewhere and pull this right on it.
There you go. Great. Very, very good. Very good. That's really, really nice. Let me see if we got any Betsy, great tour and special touches. Amen to the dedicated freezer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Somebody loves the entry shoe storage area.
Oh, there's a lot of Jews there.
I personally like the safe underneath the. I saw the boots and wanted to know where everything else was being stored. So so you got it in that slide out, that pull out safe. That's nice.
That's made by Monster. They do a lot for like the law enforcement vehicles in the back of the SUVs.
Right.
And
So,
so pull out from the back
Is that
of the SUV.
Oh, okay.
We just mounted this one underneath the couch, and we're actually going to build some cabinetry around that, like we are on the new refrigerator. So
We
all in one,
I like the way it slides out. When we built Beloved Cabin, we built underneath our sitting area a whole gun case setup, but it's so inconvenient. You have to lift up the cushions and pull. Yeah. And so we actually turned it into storage. It became so inconvenient, and we just keep everything in a standard gun safe. So I like the way that pulls out. That's real slick. And it looks like the bearings and everything, it rolls real easy with a lot of weight.
Like I said, they build them for a lot of law enforcement vehicles, so they're built. I mean, solid. And
Yeah, that's nice.
they're empty, and they have a digital keypad and also a key lock. So depending on what you want to do.
Well, both of those mess me up because on our other safe, it's key and keypad, and I still don't know how to open it. I always have to go to my wife and say, "How do I get into this thing?" And for some reason, she always knows where the two keys are, and I don't. So
because I
interesting.
have them.
Let's see here.
Is anybody asked about the cars?
Somebody, Johnson Elizabeth loves the screen door. Would you like to share now? How long is she? Exterior length? How long is she?
How long the width?
All right, so the trailer sold as a 24-foot trailer, and the guy added 2.5-foot bump out to the tongue. But from the actual tongue back, it's a 30-foot. But this would be considered 26.5-foot livable space.
Gotcha. And do you mind sharing with the audience what you paid for the original price, what you paid originally for? Do you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I really wouldn't. Yeah.
No problem at all. No problem at all. And you bought this through Tiny House Listings, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great site. So if folks aren't familiar with it, Tiny House Listings.
Let them tell us about the experience when they buy it online. Like, how do you
How did that go?
This is the house that I want. How do you go about it? It's just like you have to go and look at it beforehand, or just tell us about it, just in case people who want to buy a house online, that might be good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just started messaging the sellers through tinyhouselistings.com. And then, that led to where we were just exchanged phone numbers. Now, we did search a specific area because we wanted to look at houses that we were able to drive to and walk through and see that, walk through the space before we made an offer. So we did go down we bought this home in North Carolina. We did go down there and see it 2 times actually before we purchased it, but it was really easy. They were very quick to getting back to us and providing the information that we needed.
And it's great. We went to the bank to do such a large transaction. You actually go in a bank. The guy who was handling our transfer just bought a tiny home as well and was getting married. There's actually a tiny house community down there called Alkin or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really nice setup they have down there, and they're actually expanding. So just to let y'all know.
Nice. Yeah, real nice. Yeah, Steve Harrell, who owns and started Tiny House Listings, super nice guy. And funny story, that's how we got into the tiny house movement. Our original house, somebody took pictures off the internet and put a false listing on Tiny House Listings, trying to say they were selling our house. And when we found out about it, we were like, hey, somebody's trying. Oh my God, they build these things on wheels, because our original tiny house is a cabin, and that's how we got exposed to the tiny house world. We were like, oh my God, why didn't we think about putting these on wheels? So we think Tiny House Listing is awesome. So, but anyway, I think we're about to run out of time here. Is there anything else you'd like to share with everybody listening today or watching?
No, I just appreciate y'all's time and what y'all are doing, and they can follow us on Instagram at That Loft Life and check us out. This is a movement, and I think it's here to stay.
Oh no, absolutely. And Instagram is at That Loft Life.
And you can see right now on the screen.
Okay, very
Sarah
good.
and Casey.
Well, thanks a lot,
follow
folks.
them.
We really appreciate it. Y'all take care. And this was kind of spur of the moment, last minute, you all being on today, correct? So
Thank you so much.
we thank you very much. That was awesome.
Appreciate
Y'all
it.
take care.
Right.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
So that was Sarah and KC.
Yes.
Funny thing happened was that due to scheduling and stuff, someone
can't
who
see
was
any of the numbers.
for today last minute, they couldn't do it.
Hello, Mike.
And
You're alive.
Hello.
so Casey and Sarah was able to be
How
on.
are you?
So next up is Mike.
I'm sure everybody
with
knows Mike.
Navigation Nowhere. If you don't know Mike, then
Where have you been?
let me know where to ship the shovel so you can dig
I don't know.
money. Before we get started with Mike, I just want to tell everybody, if you don't know Mike on a personal level, Mike not only is a very good friend of ours, but Mike has been very instrumental in a lot of our successes. He's been a great sounding board. He's a good voice of counsel. He's taught us a lot of things, both not especially with schoolies, but just some business things.
He is a schoolie king,
and
isn't he?
yeah, he's our go-to person when anybody posts anything online, like I've got a male 4265 receptacle on the inlay of my inverter, and I don't know how to hook it up with the And I just say, talk to Mike, and everybody's like, we had one person who was stuck somewhere for like over a month, and I was like, contact Mike, and they sent me a message back saying he knew the answer. So Mike Schooling, he's the guy. But also though, Mike, you build other things. You just built a cabin or remodeled a cabin and add an extension to it. You've repurposed or remodeled, restored a vintage camper. Did you do a utility trailer build also?
Just finished it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah,
so anyway, so we're going to go ahead and start, Mike.
Keep talking with Mike.
Oh, okay.
I'm fixing something right now.
So
we talk on the phone.
Okay, he can't hear us.
Okay, Mike, can you hear us?
No.
He can't hear us.
I can hear.
Can you hear us, Mike?
I can hear.
He's shaking his head.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. I just can't hear him.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it working? Should I Hello?
Can you hear us, Mike? He's shaking his head. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start Mike's tour.
I said not yet.
And why Mike's tour
yes.
Why Mike's tour is going. Then we're going to come back to Mike for a Q&A. So, all right, so here's Mike's tour.
My name's Michael from Navigation Nowhere, and this is my school bus, Navi. I lived in this school bus for about 4 years. It's a 2004 Thomas Freightliner. The exterior is about 37 feet long, and the interior is about 220 square feet. But I'd like to give you a tour and head on inside. If we look inside, first thing I want to look at is probably the dash. I'll just kind of show you. It pretty much looks like what a typical school bus dash is going to look like. Most of the buttons and controls are still labeled what the original bus was, but a lot of the switches and buttons that are down here have actually been rewired to control different functions within the school bus. So there has been a little bit of wiring redone here, but for the most part, it is still just an original stock school bus. If we look towards the back of the school bus, where I'm currently standing is actually my living room. So this area is a place to kind of hang out, sit down, have friends and guests. But the cool thing is actually that the bed folds on hinges. So I'm not going to be able to do it right now, but they fold up for storage, and then it also folds out completely so that it can make a big bed here. So this is a living room, spare bedroom, and then I kind of was thinking to myself that I wanted to try to include something else in here. So me and my dad actually came up with an idea to put a dining room table underneath here. So if I were to just flip this open and kind of pull it out really quick, there's just a table that's underneath here, and the table slides out and then fills the center space. So in this case, we have a completely living room, dining room, and bedroom all within this front space, which has really worked out over the years. As I said previously, I've lived in this for about 4 years, and I actually recently just moved out of it to start building a new bus, which you might see in the background of this video. But yeah, I mean, it totally served me perfectly traveling around the country, having friends and guests over, and I really can't complain about that. Moving back this way, we kind of enter into this like kitchen, hangout, kind of system space. So moving back this direction, I have a stereo system which is built in, has surround sound throughout the entire bus that's wired. And then down here I have a propane Suburban furnace which blows my forced hot air with a return vent and an out. The return is down in the kitchen, or down in the living room, but the actual furnace is right here pushing out the hot air. So I found that it definitely works for my bus in terms of the where I've traveled. I would probably say that with the amount of windows that I've left open, it doesn't exactly keep it super warm in the freezing cold. But with thicker curtains and some insulation barriers, Reflectix, I found that I've been able to make it work. But I probably would pull out some windows if I really was trying to go for a winter type scenario. But moving back into the actual kitchen, oh, look at this. My curtain's still here. Just put that away. Moving into the kitchen, we have a normal residential-based sink. On this side, we have a normal residential-based oven. One thing that I was really going for with all of the sleeping and eating space in the front of the bus was being able to have places for guests, but then also being able to supply and cook for guests. So going with the residential oven, I did it for 2 reasons. 1, I like to cook, and 2, it was actually less expensive when it was on clearance than a traditional RV cooktop. So I kind of decided, like, well, let's go for it. I have the room, and I've totally been used all these burners and kind of done. I've even cooked Thanksgiving in the oven at one point. Moving kind of this way, I really wanted to leave a prep space, but also kind of carried into the hallway, so I angled this piece out to match the hallway width, but then it also gave a really good working space right here so that if I'm ever cooking or working at the oven, I can kind of cut right here and it's all good to go. I have all my knives right here, which are kind of nice. Everyone always asks me if these are going to fall off. It's a pretty strong earth magnet, and I've never had them fall off when driving, going down bumpy roads or anything like that, so I haven't had an issue. I mean, that's all I can do is say my experience, and that's about it. But yeah, pretty much that's about it. We'll move back a little bit this way. I have a pantry right here, which pretty much just kind of opens up. Like I said, if anyone's wondering, I did just recently move out of this bus because I'm transitioning to moving into a new one that I'm currently building. So the pantry is a little empty, but this would be a pantry that you can use. That's kind of everything's opening towards the kitchen. And then I also have a complete speak of that. I have a fridge right here, and this fridge, I think it's a 12.4 cubic foot or a 15-foot cubic foot fridge, somewhere around there. But it's a residential 120 volt. It runs off my solar system, so I beefed up my solar system a little bit to be able to handle this type of appliance, because I figured a $150 fridge at the time 4 years ago was a lot less expensive than me buying like a $1,000 12 volt model. So it kind of worked out a bit. On this side, I have my thermostat for my Suburban furnace, so whenever the heat comes up, I set the temperature here, and when this area and the temperature sensor senses that it's at the right temperature, the system cuts off. But this would be pretty typical to what you'd probably have in your residential home, same type of unit. Directly above you, actually, I just noticed because I was looking at the camera, is the AC unit. So in this bus, it does have an AC. It's a rooftop unit, so it's a typical RV 13.5K unit. And it's just mounted right onto the roof just like you would any other RV. So we don't have like a mini split or a traditional residential HVAC system inside this school bus. Moving back here, I still have all my clothes in here. Still kind of living out of the bus. So we're in a transition stage. But you know, kind of full closet for me, which totally works because I'm currently standing in my bedroom. But before we get to the bedroom, we'll look at this side. We have the bathroom, which is on this side, so you can see the entire bathroom. We've got it tiled, it's a wet bath, and got a toilet. I used to have a Nature's Head toilet in here, but I recently switched it out for a dry flush. The reason why I did that was because my parents were actually using my bus for a little bit, and it honestly just made it easier for them to not have to deal with the composting toilet. They felt more comfortable with the dry flush, so that really kind of worked. And if anyone's wondering, this is real tile, it's real grout, and it totally held up fine. I've done over 150,000 miles in this bus, and during that time period, it's completely been, you know, I don't know, fine. I mean, it hasn't cracked, it hasn't any issues, and like I said, 150,000 miles, it's doing pretty good. I'm currently cleaning the curtain that's in the bathroom, but we have a kind of a full shade that goes over there, and it also opens, so I moved this window, so we have full ventilation inside the bathroom. Also, an important point is that I put this window here for an evac in the back of the bus, so if I ever have an issue in the front of the bus and I need to get out of the bus, your camera, where you're currently looking from, is my bedroom, and I can easily get out here, get out the window, or in the back there's another window I can get out of. So if you're ever building a school bus, definitely think about safety. We you know, in these types of buses, especially 37 feet long, you should be having at least 2 evac locations inside the school bus to be able to get out, so that you're not kind of having any issues if there ever is a problem arising. Why don't we switch spots, and then I'll show you my bedroom. All right, so back here is the bedroom. So this entire area is currently set up as more of a living room. There's actually a TV right here that pulls out. You can kind of see it, but this TV actually can go away. And then I have some office desks that fold out right here, and those actually become an office space. And then this becomes a double monitor for me to work and edit videos, which is kind of a fun little unique thing. But besides that, where the camera currently is, which you can turn it around when we walk out, but this entire section actually becomes a bed, so this back room is a little hard to see. but it actually folds out onto a hinge. So I have this little hinge here, and then the bed would fold out onto here, and then this whole back area becomes a bed. So just like the front of the bus where it's a living room, dining room, and bedroom, this back area has an office space, a living room, TV space, and then also becomes the bedroom back here. So it's kind of nice to have multiple functions in single space. Also, we got storage, of course, because everyone loves storage. And then back here, there's also a bunch more storage. So that's kind of fun. I'm gonna show you what's actually back here behind this whole area in a little bit. So I think that's pretty much the inside. Why don't we just head outside and we'll look at maybe what I've done out there. So let's head on outside. All right, on the outside of the bus, kind of in the camping mood. So before I lived in the school bus, I did a lot of boondocking, a lot of car traveling. So in building this one, I really wanted to make outdoor space important for camping. One thing that I did was I built this side table that's on the bus. It actually folds up and latches for when I'm driving. So it just latches in there, holds tight, and then I can drive down the road. When I show up at a location, it drops down, and I purposely did it off of these chains because the ground's never always perfectly level, but if this is here, I know that the table is at least square to the bus. So if the bus is level, the table's level, and if it's not, then you don't have a level table. I have a water fill just like RV hookups, so pretty much we are living in a school bus, but for the most part, we are just dealing with RV hookups, RV type stuff, and that's about it. Back here, I have a bunch of underbody storage boxes. I really don't like bringing all my oil and my tools and my things inside of my home, so I have these body boxes that one's in the front, one's in the back, and both of them are, you know, big enough to be able to store my generator if I need a backup generator, tools, oil, like I said, anything that I just don't want inside of the house. Right here, 30 amp hookup, which is pretty much traditional RV hookup. So if I do go to a campground, I can plug in just like an RV. If I don't, I have my solar panels on the roof, and they work out pretty great. Back here, we can see what I like to call the garage. So it's kind of just full of tools and a mess of stuff. And all of this stuff is, you know, I don't know, things I need on the road for fixing. I got air lines, extra hose lines, extra caulk and tubing, wires, 30 amp hookups. Pretty much everything that I could think of that if anything happened on the side of the road, I could probably have a spare part for, or extra filters. So this is my garage, and if you remember from the inside of the bus where my bedroom was, and then that upper storage area, this is pretty much that below area that's only accessible from the back of the bus. But let's go on the roof. Actually, I'll just take the camera so you don't have to climb. We'll just go for it. So up here on top of the roof, we've got a rooftop deck. It's an 8x10 rooftop deck. We got an AC unit, which you saw inside, that's in the hallway. And then I have all my solar panels. If you look up here, those solar panels is about 480 watts on the roof. I've got about 480 watts in solar panels down bottom, but you know, that's pretty much enough for me to live my lifestyle. I don't know if that'd be enough for everyone, but I've learned to live on that, and it's worked out great for me. But overall, thanks for coming to visit. I mean, I think we might be a little bit over time, but thanks for coming to visit, get a tour of my home, and visiting United Tiny House Festival this weekend. And hopefully when we have another live festival in person, I can be there, and you can come see this bus in person. So make sure you take a look out and check up when the next event's gonna be. But thanks for having me here. Thanks, John and Finn, and thanks to United Tiny House Festival. See you guys around.
All right, we are now back. Can we hear Mike?
All right,
Okay,
Mike,
I can take care of it from here.
can you hear us okay?
Oh man, I can't hear him. Do you want to hit the mute button?
Hit your mute button on and off.
So that is such a beautiful bus as always. It's one of my most all-time favorite.
So Navi, how long did it take you from the day you brought her home and you started gutting her to the completion? You know, like the first version 1.0. Okay, so something's going on here. I can hear him. All right, we're talking to each other. Okay, this is great. So we can hear him through the YouTube channel, but not through the not through the interface here behind the scenes. So just go ahead and talk, and we're just curious, how much did it cost for you to do this?
Oh, Mike, please do not leave us. Mike gone.
Mike, come back.
That's okay. Mike will be back in a minute. Okay, how long have you known Mike?
Okay, so for some reason we lost Mike.
That was Mike.
Yeah. So anyway, we've known Mike since our New Jersey Tiny House Festival
2 years?
back in 2017.
Since he was a baby.
So June 2017, we first met Mike. He reached out to us and said he wanted to bring his bus to our New Jersey Tiny House Festival. He came, and it was all great. We had a super great time with him. It was a lot of fun. We had a really good time, and he's been a really great friend since. Mike's been out at our property, Beloved Cabin Homestead. He came out and spent I don't know how long, it's been a while there, less than a week, but more than a day. We let off my fire extinguishers, not fire extinguishers, my flamethrowers that I make out of fire extinguishers. That was a lot of fun. He looked like a little kid when those things shot about 40, 50 feet of flame.
And now I think he thought, other than flipping the house, the cabin, that he just did, he also like built bus for other people, I believe.
Yeah, yep. He's got another one. So, but anyhow, so yeah. So so Mike is doing a smaller bus now, a shorter bus or a short bus.
Oh, the shorty. Yes,
Yeah,
that's his new project.
He's doing a short bus now. So yeah. So unfortunately, we got a little issue here, technical issue. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna refresh our screen.
Oh no, we won't.
No, we're not.
We won't yet
Why?
because that always give us hell. So
Okay.
why don't we just see?
Don't listen to me. Don't
Mhm.
listen to me.
Right, let's
So-
hop on to
What's up next?
some music right here while we try to sort out
All right.
this
So this is going to
issue.
be our first music performance of the day. Hey, did you guys check that music yesterday? We had Stephanie and Scott.
You don't remember?
I do. I remember the music because I got to listen to it this past week. I just forget names.
Well, right now we have
And I remember Stephanie because she
Holly.
was a volunteer at one of our very first at our very first Tiny House Festival.
we got
So,
Holly.
This is Harley.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is Harley, and she's been at a few of our.
When I see the mountain, see the look on your face when we're out in the forest, and the road's no longer paved, wanna take a back road, and sometimes slow time with you, yeah. Well, say, 'cause sometimes you got to go, and sometimes you just don't know where you're headed, where you're gonna be, baby. 'Cause even if things don't go the way it is supposed to go, I know you're there with me. I know you're there with me. Yeah, I know you're there with me. With me. Woo. feel the sun on my face when we're out in the open. And the tides wash our fears away when I build a lifetime. A life worth living with you, yeah. Oh, well, because sometimes you got to go, and sometimes you just don't know where you're headed or where you gotta be, baby. Because even when things don't go the way it's supposed to go, I know you're there with me. I know you're there with me. Yeah, I know you're there with me. Ooh. With me. Ooh. 'Cause I know you're there with me, baby. Wanna see it open. I feel the sun on my face when we're out in the open. And the tides wash our fears away when I build a lifetime. A life we're living with you. I know you're there with me. Guys, thank you so much again. That was Fountain of Youth. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and my name is Carly Davidson.
That is the real good one.
Every time I hear Carly sing, I'm just amazed. I think the first time I heard her perform and sing was she did it near or off the back of her bus at the at our Louisiana Tiny House Festival in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. All of a sudden, I just heard this beautiful voice just belting out across our festival. I was like, "Who is that singing?" And I walk over, and there's Carly just right there at her bus, just singing. Unbelievable.
And
What's that cover she does?
what is her bus name?
The Odyssey? The
Yeah,
Odyssey
people
bus?
can go and follow her.
The Odyssey Schoolie. Yeah, you can follow her. Her name's appearing right now underneath our name on the screen here. Carly, the Odyssey Schoolie. And you can find a lot of her music on, I believe, Spotify and other online sources. But
if you can, just go support, this little maker or artist, in this difficult time. If you can go and just download, I think it's like 99 cents or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I think that will be.
oh,
some
she
of the
does
way
that
we
cover,
can-
Walking in Memphis. She does that cover of that song, Walking in Memphis, or I think that's it. Unbelievable cover. Woo, woo, that's worth it. Maybe we can find that on YouTube on the way home tonight.
Yeah.
That is a great, great cover of the
YouTube.
song. So,
Why don't we just go to Spotify and just download it?
well, yeah, we just told everybody spend 99
Yeah.
cents. I'm like, maybe we go to YouTube.
Don't be so
So
stingy.
anyway,
Good grief.
The Beehive family, they're coming in. They're checking in from on top of a mountain.
On
they
top
went-
of the
They
mountain.
went up a hill and came down a mountain. Movie reference? Anybody?
Okay, so what are
Anybody?
they going to be talking about?
So this is the
Johnny, and we're the Beehive family. We're a family of 6 that's been traveling for 18 months on our converted 2000 Thomas Built bus.
And we're joining United Tiny House Association's live event with a few suggestions on how to live tiny with kids. Suggestion number 1, the build is never going to feel complete, and that's okay.
And that can be driven by your finances or how your personal needs and wants are going to change from the time you begin looking at tiny living to during the build, and even way down the road as we have 18 months later.
And that's based off of your individual needs, your family size, things that you want to do on your adventure.
Furthermore, if you want to be a boondocker and use solar energy, you're going to have to take that into consideration with your planning, your family size, and your finances, and to see what aids in that development of your dream. Suggestion number 2, individual sleeping spaces. So I built these spaces at 7 feet long by 33 inches wide. This allows plenty of storage for the kids to put things that they find of interest.
In addition to their beds, we chose to build them individual dinette seating. It was important to us that they had, again, their own space to collect the weird things that they get on their adventures, be able to decorate it, have a space that they can call their own, and not be crowded by each other. Their tabletops open where they can store stuff, and then their chairs, in addition, open up, allowing for more storage. Suggestion number 3. We picked up this motto along the way, and we really like how it applies to our lifestyle. It's nothing's left unsaid, unheard, or unanswered. And we found that this little motto has helped us with homeschooling and our approach to our adventure in this lifestyle in general.
Definitely. So with the homeschooling thing as the primary teacher, I felt as though that's opened up a lot of lines of communication with the kids. So when they ask me something, I make sure I hear them, or I get to them, tell them, hey, give me a second. And then from there, I give them everything I have, because it's like reinventing the wheel. Why waste that time? Give your children everything you can in this lifestyle. And we've learned that because we've learned a very key factor with life, which is slow down. In this lifestyle, you can't be afraid that when you see something beautiful, to turn that big old bus around wherever you can and drive back and go take a look. Lastly, with that information, don't be afraid to build upon what you already know and things that you had no additional interest on. The more people that you talk to in this community, you'll find areas that you've never heard of before and find that your interests grow, and you should be bringing your children along on that adventure. Suggestion number 4. Bridging off suggestion number 3, more on that adventure.
So Johnny thinks it's funny, but one of my favorite quotes right now is from Mary Poppins. It's, "We're off on an adventure. Don't spoil it with too many questions." And I think that's a perfect caveat to how we've been living our lifestyle. Enjoying every moment that we have, spending quality time with friends, and learning how to kind of go with the flow.
And the best part about that is, with the friends that we're meeting along the way, is that we can share that kind of experience we're gaining in this lifestyle by helping them out and showing them to slow down, i.e. wherever we stay, I'll help chop wood, help them build storage units, outdoor kitchens.
2 outdoor kitchens now.
Yeah. And the best part about all that is while we're doing that, we get to stay with friends and families, and we talk about relationships. And, you know, if people are usually having an issue here or there, thankfully this lifestyle has provided the guidance and the mind-opening perspectives that help them out.
We've found that we seek out good food, good friends, and good conversation. So reach out.
Yeah, whether you're a new family who's just exploring the idea of tiny living, maybe you're in the middle of your build, or maybe you've been out here longer than us now, we'd love to get in contact with you.
You can reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at The Beehive Family, and you can find us on thebeehivefamily.com.
All right, so that was the Bissonets, the Beehive family. The Bissonets are really good friends of ours. In fact, they were just out at our beloved cabin homestead community just last week. We had a lot of fun. Johnny and I, he helped me build on the outdoor kitchen. Just did a lot of work around the property together. Super great guy. We reinstalled the 3-barrel rain catchment system, rainwater collection system. Just super, super great people. Also, a shout out to Johnny. Johnny is retired Marines. He's a reservist now, and we want to give a shout out to him and our appreciate to him and all the veterans who have served, the men and women, brothers and sisters, especially those who've never come home for their service to our country during this weekend of recognition for all of them. And we really appreciate that he was able to take time out from his busy schedule. I mean, let's face it, he's active enlisted. And when I say he's active enlisted, he's not somebody who's a weekend warrior. He does a lot of stuff on behalf of our country on a regular basis. And he has shed and he has seen blood in the mud. I mean, the man has really been there on behalf of our country. So we really appreciate the sacrifices that you and your family, Johnny, have made over the years in order for people like Finn and I to be able to have the freedom to do these type of activities and shows. So thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Yes.
So next up now we have another, who's up next, Ben?
Mike with the Nook AVL is the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cabin in North Carolina.
Very good. All right,
Yes.
so here we go.
So let's go and jump on the video tour because we can't pull mine up right now, but just bear with me 1 second. There we go. Let's check him out.
I'm Mike. We are at the Nook in Swannanoa, North Carolina, near Asheville. I'm just going to give you a tour for United Tiny House. It's been kind of raining nonstop for the last several days, so it's a bit dreary out. But come on down the pathway. We're currently working on landscaping. That's what we've been kind of doing with this downtime with COVID. So we planted a bunch of native grasses and ferns and some small trees and stuff for privacy. It's all just coming in now, so it'll hopefully be a lot more lush as time goes on. As you can see our entrance. This is the siding is shiplap cypress. This entryway right here. This oak deck that came from a farm. A friend of mine gave me this. This was a bridge across a creek and a farm for decades, and then he gave us the wood and we repurposed it for this deck. This locust post coming up through here is from right around here from the property. And then, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it on there, but this siding here in the entryway is oak shoshugiban. Shoshugiban is a Japanese technique of burning wood. It's normally done with cedar or cypress, but we used oak because it was what we had available in that quantity, and I actually like the effect on oak. It's a lot of texture, really dark and rich. There's a little eclipse light here. There's kind of a theme out here of like lightning. This post was leaning against a tulip poplar that was struck by lightning. You can see the burn marks here. And then this oak that we used was mostly kind of cracked and not very able to be used otherwise, because that was also a white oak that was struck by lightning. So let's come on in. Okay, so here we are. The house is kind of divided into a bunch of different little nooks and tucked away spaces, but it's also somewhat bisected into two primary spaces. This is kind of like the ceiling's lower on this side. It's a little bit more den-like. We use more dark woods. I would say the influence on this side is more Japanese, but keeping to there's kind of like a minimalist aesthetic throughout, and as you get into here, I think it gets a little more light, a little more open, maybe more Scandinavian. But let's just start here and look at this we call the breakfast nook. This is all black walnut. The wood came from the properties, or it's a mix of coming from different places, but a lot of it came from the property. These ash insert boxes display the work of Jun Seo. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's an awesome ceramicist in town in Asheville. He has these two pieces here. We collaborated with about 22 to 25 different makers locally to kind of tell the story of Western North Carolina creative community. These pieces of fabric were another collaboration with a company called SoCo locally. As you come into the kitchen here, it's really pretty basic, straightforward kitchen. This walnut actually was repurposed from a desk that it was in the house I grew up in, and my parents didn't need it anymore, so they gave it to me, and I kind of retooled it and turned it into this cabinetry. We made this custom spice rack specifically to hold Spice Walla Spices. That's a local spice company. It's doing really cool stuff in Asheville. Another collaboration is East Fork. They make this beautiful stoneware, and they're in town as well. All this stuff, even the glasses came from them, and this vase and even this stuff is like, you know, I hand whittled these spoons, and the ones in the little coffee section over here is a little coffee scoop, a cherry, and this stuff is from trees that were cut down to make the space. There's sort of a theme. There's a lot of different themes in the place. One is kind of teaching about the ecology of the region through material. So I talked about black walnut. This is a Nocino that a friend of ours makes at Ed Orion, and that's a black walnut liqueur. And as we go on with the tour, I'll show you a couple. There's 2 different woven art pieces that use black walnut as a dye. So we're just kind of telling the story of that one material. Let's take a quick look in the bathroom. Not a whole lot to see in there, but do this kind of floating shelf in the mirror, and our friend Alex, who's an amazing mosaic tile worker, did this tile work for us. And then, yeah, you can see in the shower. Okay, let's come down into the main living room area. Let's see, we have this giant floor, this tall ceiling with the ginormous windows and big hanging swing chair. This is kind of one of the main features of the space that we got really excited about, and that gives it kind of a whimsical quality. All of the wood you're seeing, except for the floor and the ceiling, pretty much all the visible wood was harvested by me and milled and hand tooled and shaped with hand tools and everything. We have this pull-out solid walnut hunk coffee table. This is one solid piece of walnut, which I don't know if I've ever seen. I've definitely never seen a piece of walnut that big. I found it at a antique store. And have a couch here with nice cherry. This is called a waterfall joint right here, where it's one continuous board that goes across and down and then across the whole bottom. Coming into, this is where I guess you call the bedroom, and nice little tucked away nook. We commissioned Daniel Holland, a local painter, to do this beautiful mountain landscape in the back, and if you can get around and see, there's a really cool insert diorama nature scene in here by Haley Nochik, and there's a whole story behind that, but I probably don't have time to get into it. Now let's come upstairs to the loft, one of 2 lofts. That was one of the design elements that when we talked to our designers, Shelter Collective, they the original concept had 1 loft, and once we split it into 2, it really got a lot more exciting to me, because it just really creates these super private and unique spaces. This wood, this oak, combination of red oak and white oak, was given to me by the same guy that gave me the porch wood. It is really, really breathtaking wood, and I could have never afforded to buy that much oak like that, so that was a really amazing gift. This is our little TV loft. These photos are from a photo essay. I'm a photographer, from a photo essay about the family of the people that I just mentioned that donated this wood, so I wanted to kind of incorporate their story a little bit. This ladder, the 2 ladders are, I think, some of my favorite woodworking in the whole place. You can see this joinery on the sides is really beautiful. I worked with Andy McFate furniture to make these. And maybe from here we can just look over to the other loft as well. And you can just, so this loft is intended to be a tea loft, and so there's this beautiful hand-turned ash ladder going up, and so you go up through there, and then there's a tea tray that can be lifted up from the kitchen with a tall handle. So it's you put the tea in there and lift it up, and that's an example of one of the woven pieces that I mentioned. It uses black walnut as a dye, and that is from a Cherokee woman, Lauren C. Goings. And so that's pretty much the space. There's a whole lot of story here that, you know, we couldn't really even get to in 10 minutes, but there's just a lot of passion and a lot of storytelling involved, and I'd welcome everyone to check out our Airbnb listing, which I'm sure will be linked here, so you can kind of get a little more sense of the story, and also our Instagram, the Nook AVL. We kind of tell some of the specific concepts and stories behind the different pieces in the house. So thanks so much for joining us, and looking forward to taking your questions.
All right, we are back again. That was beautiful.
Man,
that was a beautiful.
That is
beautiful
just so
house.
beautiful.
Yes.
I love that swing.
Yeah, everybody loved that swing.
Golly, that
Everybody
swing is just
crazy
awesome.
over that swing. I think this is such a great great idea and
I
concept.
would lose my stuff over that swing.
Yeah, and he
So-
truly
so
is an
beautiful.
artist.
So beautiful.
Absolutely.
Golly.
Okay, so we
All right, so we need to do some house cleaning here.
yes.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We are we're gonna refresh this session, which means this session's gonna end, and we're gonna start a whole new live session. So everybody who's out here right now, and I'm gonna send a message to this. Everybody who
Watching right here.
watching right now, this is going to end, and it'll still be out there to go out and watch, like recorded and stuff. And then we're going to start a whole new live session. And then that way we can ask Mike, who is just talking from the Nook, and we can talk with Mike Führer with Navigation Nowhere. So we can ask them their questions, okay?
Just the glitch on the system.
It's just a glitch in the system. Apparently, it's just something with this application we're using.
Damn, it was so good.
It's been going so
So
good.
far this morning, but
So
hey,
you
we
can't-
hit the
you
wall.
can't say damn on a live broadcast. There might be a child here
Oh
hearing you
damn!
say
I just
damn.
said that. I'm so
Damn it.
sorry. Damn.
Damn it.
All right. Okay. Let's
All right,
refresh.
so we're going to
this.
refresh, okay?
Let's see
all
what
right, here we go.
happened. Here we go.